path of a righteous man is beset on all sides by the inequities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger for those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. When I'm sad, I be dreaming about 100 racks. I'm paper chasing, ain't no faking where them hundreds at. Said I'm gon' get it on the bad day, I know that's a fact. It ain't enough, so sure enough, no, we gon' run it back. It's a little hoodlum, but I always been a classy act. If it ain't paying, then what's the point in laughing back? We move in silence, peace or violence, if it's that, it's that. Easy E and my boy Harlow got me sporting black on black. There I go, switching the flow of things like I control the scene. I hit my shoulder lean, they used to skip me and now they notice me. If you want my undivided, then you pay the open fee. Check the debt, I showed respect and now I feel it's owed to me. We bout action, I ain't known to speak, just putting over tea. I got a dream that my babies know and respect the older me. That's the difference being a king with just the look, we know the sheep. Life's a game to these cowards, when we see them you know it's beef. When I'm sad, I be dreaming about 100 racks. I'm paper chasing, ain't no faking where them hundreds at. Said I'm gon' get it on the bad day, I know that's a fact. It ain't enough, so sure enough, no, we gon' run it, run it, run it. When I'm sad, I be dreaming about 100 racks. I'm paper chasing, ain't no faking where them hundreds at. Said I'm gon' get it on the bad day, I know that's a fact. It ain't enough, so sure enough, no, we gon' run it, run it, run it back.
Buenos días, hoy no tuve que fumar para despertarme con alegría. Oh yeah. Buenos días, hoy no me importa bañarme con cubeta llena de agua fría. ¿Quién diría de ser Arjona que algún día yo sería feliz por otra ronda? Es que pensé que ya se me iba la onda. Pude superar las situaciones que incomodaban las bolsas, pero estoy en mi bag, estoy compartiendo en silencio, I'm giving back. Mi familia es primero, llegaron más. El árbol y las ramas bien alto crecerán. Seguimos plantando semillas. A lo largo los principios y modales benefician. Estoy agradecido por lo bueno y lo malo que construye hoy mi vida. Nunca será perfecta y quizás siga fallando, pero siempre se respeta al que no se queda abajo. Buenos días, hoy no tuve que fumar para despertarme con alegría. Buenos días, hoy no me importa bañarme con cubeta llena de agua fría. ¿Quién diría de ser Arjona que algún día yo sería feliz por otra ronda? ¿Quién diría de ser Arjona? Siempre he sido mañanero y no me gusta el café. Acelerado me despierto y no sabría decir por qué. Pero ahora me relajo y antes de prender el cel me pongo a analizar todo lo que yo soñé. Era hora de aprender, el tiempo es mi poder. Ese tiempo en la mañana hace mi mente encender. Iniciando el día al 100, da alegría el saber que yo controlo mi vida y bien mi tiempo utilicé. Seguimos plantando semillas. A lo largo los principios y modales benefician. Estoy agradecido por lo bueno y lo malo que construye hoy mi vida. Nunca será perfecta y quizás siga fallando, pero siempre se respeta al que no se queda abajo. Buenos días. Buenos días. Buenos días.
I don't care if you're on your deathbed and you're dying and it hurts and anything, you have to promise yourself before you get there that you are not going to go home a loser. I would rather die than acknowledge to myself that I'm that loser. There is nothing that I won't do. There's nothing that I won't do
Boy, I gotta work. I'm my grizzly from the first. I'm the truest, watch me prove it. Boy, I do this till it hurts. Boy, I gotta work. Said I gotta work. You don't got this in your soul. Yeah, you better search. Yeah, work. Said I gotta work. Grizzly boy, back to work. Man, I got it from the dirt. Yeah, work. Boy, I gotta work. You don't got this in your soul. Yeah, you better search. I've been prepping all week. I can see it in my sleep. Out here stepping as a legend. See these roads ain't for the weak. If you saw how I see it, you would see it in Everest Peak. That's the goal for me to climb every time I go compete. And it's never out of reach. I don't need some dumb speech. I got me and that's enough. Trust your boy's a fucking beast. Boy, sow it till it reaps. You better dig deep. Cause if you don't, the past goes are out the fucking eat. What was then is it now. You can see I made a vow. It's gonna take everything. You can hear the place pound. We built it from the ground. Want a monster, hear the sound. Yeah. Want a monster, hears the sound. Yeah. I'ma roll into the front. I'm the first to show up and the last to take my cuts. Oppenheimer blowing up. Let's go. You ain't here to work. Nah, blood, sweat, and tears a must if you plan to overcome. I gotta work. I'm my grizzly from the first. I'm the truest, watch me prove it. Boy, I do this till it hurts. Boy, I gotta work. Said I gotta work. You don't got this in your soul. Yeah, you better search. Yeah, work. Said I gotta work. Grizzly boy, back to work. Man, I got it from the dirt. Yeah, work. Boy, I gotta work. You don't got this in your soul. Yeah, you better search. You think I want the limelight? You're reaching for a soundbite. We're reaching, teaching crowds that work is how to shine bright. I've shed pounds and lift thousands. Sit down when we round. The beat now's a heat count on how cows can be silent. Vibing in this bitch. I'm the type to see and lift. Got my team and we don't stop until we see over the cliff. This a movement that is proven to be rocking. See, we rocking when the rollers in a pitch. Now we locked and try and stop us if you quick. And we caught you, now we're bopping with the drop. Tell me something I don't know. Working till my soul pops. I don't stop. Those minutes mean nothing on the clock. Grand entrance, grand closing. I'ma fold them in a box. Tell them all to go to church. You want it now, we want it worse. Yeah. On our shield and it works. I don't play. This is me on my grizzly. See, I'm winning till the hearse drops. Come and visit triple digits out here doing work. I'm my grizzly from the first. I'm the truest, watch me prove it. Boy, I do this till it hurts. Boy, I gotta work. Said I gotta work. You don't got this in your soul. Yeah, you better search. Yeah, work. Said I gotta work. Grizzly boy, back to work. Man, I got it from the dirt. Yeah, work. Boy, I gotta work. You don't got this in your soul. Yeah, you better search.
And it's going to take all of you. It's going to take every ounce of your being, everything you got. And if you give it any less than everything you totally got, and you're not totally spent, you're not doing enough. And somehow, by some act of God, it has to be everything within you has to be able to go to the exercise you're doing and demand.
Ay, give a fuck about your gang, I'm from Thomas Road. Nigga was playing around with them things, that's what got me smoked. They be hanging out with them things, so do not approach. I put my label all on my chain, that shit solid gold. Put up that thing and run your fade, I ain't gotta blow. Niggas be capping all these straps and still ain't dropping soul. Plenty guns, we got a lot of pose. I pull a stick and catch you slipping this shit like Martin Glow. Ay, you just cap a lot, my niggas keep straps a lot. Run around like you Scarface, but nigga, you just rap a lot. Really outside OT with it on me, used to trap a lot. Nigga ain't got no loyalty to the gang, he probably rat you out. You come out tripping, they gon' pack you out. Pull that extension, they got ladders out. I ain't slipping, I got blick on me. Come get your key cause your bitch on me. Says she wanna slide with the clips on. Every young nigga on my side got a stick on, blicks on. Right after school, they gon' chip some. Time is roll, nigga, slow your roll, we got big guns. Yeah, nigga. How you up your pole when they hit none? Niggas just be hoes, they ain't slip once. What up, nigga? I'm bounce out, nigga. Make a bitch run. Baby chopper with a big drum.
Give a fuck about your block, I'm from 66. I was 20 with a 40 and a 50 stick. With the Crips, got the chop posted in the bricks. Hitting licks past 400 before we did the split. A nigga rich throwing blues on a nigga bitch. A Mary G's, Dior shoes just to match the fit. Pass the blick, close range, tear off half a tit. Brains hanging up close, look like we smashed the grits. EFB fourth quarter, nigga, that's the clip. Gang, you throw it up like it got you sick. Ain't got no picks when I shoot, anybody hit. Red dot on the target, I ain't tryna miss. Politics on the yard, I go with Compton Crips. The clip on the AK look like a hockey stick. Hey, you say you tryna slide with Crips. Hey, this ain't a game, niggas really die for this.
Says she wanna slide with the clips on. Every young nigga on my side got a stick on, blicks on. Right after school, they gon' chip some. Time is roll, nigga, slow your roll, we got
Gino, fuck, baby chopper with a big drum. I'm finna spin your block, finna wet some. We don't do no talking, keep it gangsta, tryna stretch some. My youngest really active, they active, tryna press some. A whole lot of clips in the building. Now who gon' say some? Really active. We can get it cracking on the avenues. I'm pistol packing, ain't never lacking. I gotta keep it too. Really spats, don't you come around if you don't keep it true. Really out here thugging, dogging bitches, that's just what we do. Young grip, bust some, cause we don't go for none. Duck hunt, some. This life it ain't fun. Dumb nigga, how you running in? You got your gun with you. You ain't really outside stepping. My shit is gun get you. Now all that pillow talking niggas be doing. You are not him spazzing, giving niggas the blues. All that shit that I be talking, speaking facts on the truth. I'm really thugging with the homies, cause ain't shit else to do. Ooh, ooh.
Said she wanna slide with the clips on. Every young nigga on my side got a stick on, blick some. Way up the skull, they gon' chip some. Time is roll, niggas slow your roll, we got big guns. How you up your pole when ain't hit none? Niggas just be hoes, they ain't slid once. I bounce out, make a bitch run. Come here, nigga. Come here. Baby chopper with a big drum.
Man, this shit is so hard, bro. Come on, man. All right, let's go. What is good, y'all? My name is Gabino Grhymes. This is Run It Back at Mike Masters 801 on everything. This is Run It Back, like I just said. Fucking episode. Who gives a fuck? We are here. We are live. We are active. I appreciate the early comments that are over here, man. Who's already here? We got the no pass look. Yeah. So what happened at the source battle? Like I said, it's on iBattle TV. And then we got Lil Cat. What's up? What's up? Got Alex in here. What's up, y'all? Let's start by this. First and foremost, the next event, I'm going to show this right now. The circuit, First Blood, April 19th, 8 battles. It's a Saturday at the Hurt, 2505 South State Street, South Salt Lake, Utah. We've just shared the flyer for it. It's on our Instagram at Mike Masters 801. And yeah, I'm just very excited for that. I'm impressed with how Mike and Atheist have put this whole card together, and honestly, like building a team around them to make sure that we're cultivating our current talent, or not cultivating, giving them opportunities to continue the craft and get reps. Because like the main stage for Mike Masters, we have, different time frames that we're doing it, and we can, we can only do so much with what we have with the events. Anyway, but then also this is essentially the draft that has been transitioned to the circuit. So just very appreciative for them. So give it up for them real quick. And yeah, their next event is on April 19th. So just excited for that. Hosted by Beans and Rice. We're live at Beans and Rice Studio. I'm hoping Jose gets in here soon because I want to show off some of the merch that's going to be going to UtahRapper.com. And just very excited for them. Right now, Lucky Desperado is looking at some merch that's on the website right now as well, incorporating Ghost on the website. He just received some samples of what he got. Obviously, I posted about Mike Bailey. So we're doing that for the roster and getting them exposure and availability for their fan base to be able to purchase merch for them so they can be in the crowd repping their fucking favorite battlers. So just very excited for that too. Perfect. I know. So yeah, we got a packed show today, man. Before we get into it, I do want to say thank you to our inner circle. I just saw, hold up a minute. Jesus. Yo, we have a new member. Give it up to the 1-2 becoming a member today. He's on fire. Hey man, thank you so much. You know, as I've said time and time again, and I will always say, you guys are our backbone. We appreciate the consistent effort from you all to show your support by subscribing to us and joining as a member to, and I'll let you know what it goes to. You know, it goes to for future event planning. Goes to a potential flight, a potential hotel. It goes into that type of fund. So thank you guys so much. You are literally powering Mike Masters Alliance event. So one more time, give it up. For as low as $2.99, whatever, you know. So we definitely appreciate it. As we do all the time, y'all. I see some folks in here, and let me look. You know what? Before I say this, let me look at the actual. All right, so I'm currently looking. Look, I'm the fourth like on this. I see at the very least 12 people. Like the video and share it out. We'll wait. Also, it's free. All right, look at what you guys did, man. He's on fire. Man, I'm starting off hot today, bro. Shit, I'm fucking in the bag today, bro. For real, for real. What'd you say? The no pass look. We are here. Yeah, man, we're here, dog. We are here. So I have a very esteemed guest here, and before I get to him, I do want us to talk to. Oh, you know what? I said this already. I'm just going to put it on here. If you want to be a part of it, click join and support the movement. Again, super appreciate it. I'm going to leave this here while I talk about this. JSmoReviews. If you are tuned in to the battle rap culture, you know that this man has been not just active, but passionately attached to the sport and gives very detailed and without even, anyone asking him to do that. We're going to ask him more, but he does this on his own accord, and it caught the eye of let's talk battle rap. And I'm just super in tune to all of his videos and stuff. And so it just made sense for us to have him on the show today to speak about a few things and to understand a little bit more about who JSmo is and how he came about. So if you have not already followed him, I'm going to post his Twitter here. This is where he's most active. He might say something different, which hopefully I'm not wrong on. But if you are on Twitter, check this here. Bang, boom. I just put the whole shit in there. So, I'm just gonna say this now. Before the live started, him and I had a private conversation. We just expressed appreciation, and it's one of those things that I'm legitimately damn, dog, you could have been doing anything else, and just super excited for it. So without further ado, one more time I'm going to say it. Salute to the Mike Masters Inner Circle. I'm just running it back. Our backbone, our foundation. Thank you for your support. If you want to be a part of it, click join and support the fucking movement, please. He's on fire. I don't give a fuck that I said please either. All right, here we go. Well, here is, let me make sure I have all my things together here. Bang. There we go. What's up, JSmo?
What's good with y'all, man? What's good with you?
I'm going to let that whole thing run. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I can hear people clapping, dog. How are you today?
Doing good, man. Bet yourself.
The last few weeks have been kind of weird, but today is a beautiful day. So I'm
It's a beautiful day in Denver too, man. So
it's way nice out here in Salt Lake. 73 or something like that. Is it like that over there?
Yeah, no, it's getting a little bit hotter. It was snowing not too long ago. You know what I'm saying? I just got out here about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I got a newer setup compared to what most people know me from being in. I'm still trying to figure, I got the bed frame back there. I still got some things to figure out. You know what I'm saying, man? But I'm settling in pretty good. And appreciate you for having me up here, man. I mean, any opportunity to talk battle rap, I think is a good opportunity. And before we get into any questions, anything like that, I just want to show appreciation for the Mike Masters platform.
Hey.
48 Lakes was a fantastic card. You know what I'm saying? That went down last year. You guys have been doing work before, after. Obviously, Danny and 40, you helped put that together as well. And I've heard nothing but fantastic things from battlers in terms of how y'all handle operations. So it was a no-brainer when you reached out, man. I can't wait for the conversation.
Perfect.
He's on fire. God damn, y'all. Give it up for JSmo on that fucking quick rant, y'all. there's good rants and then there's bad rants. Yo, man, that was a good rant. I appreciate that a ton.
Gotta show respect, man.
Man, my whole team, Hoodie Jer, Beans and Rice, Scott, Chris, Dally, George, our security. We put in a lot of heart into everything that we do. And so I appreciate you saying that. Okay, so with that out of the way. Oh, you know what? Actually, I wanted to say this as you were talking, because you said you're from, or no, you're not from Denver, but you're in Denver. I'm very familiar with Denver. I used to live in Laramie, Wyoming, and we would go down to Denver so often. It's only like a 2.5 hour drive, and for whatever honestly, it's only like 800 feet higher than Salt Lake, something like that. And you guys get snow like way ridiculously more. You know, it's like crazy, like the difference between Salt Lake and Denver as far as that's concerned. And having said that, Denver is like the prototype that Salt Lake aspires to be, because like there's so much that. Yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I wasn't gonna say anything. You know?
Okay, yeah, it's just crazy. So like, but I love Denver. I love that city. I was actually out there recently, last September for a job conference, and that was pretty dope. I mean, it's always dope out there. So, all right, let's do this. Here we go. We're just getting into it. You've been covering battle rap for a while now. What first got you into the culture, and what led to the creation of JSmoReviews?
Word. So this is going back a little over 10 years now. I was in high school, I was a sophomore in high school. And at the time, people were just rapping, you know what I'm saying? People at school rapping. I've been a fan of rap my entire life, and you got lunch table battles, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like any core hip hop fan, at least people that get this deep into it, have experienced that at some point in life. And I remember looking up, you know, where you get random freestyle videos, then that leads you into, viral battle rap clips. And then eventually, you know, if you look hard enough, you run into the thing itself. And I'll never forget going through A-Hat. I was about like 15, 16 years old. I was going through A-Hat battles back in the day. Stud Famous. I'll never forget that name. One of the first battles I ever just found. But then you start looking through for a minute. I end up finding Conceited versus Arsenal. And really, the rest is history from there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a pivotal pillar, you know, going back to grind time. But that's what caught me. And then you start going, you know, there's so many levels of battle rap once you start going into it. At first, you're viewing all the million views, the Charlie Clips, the Arsenals, the Conceited. You're going through their catalog. That leads you into other catalogs. I'd say B Magic, probably my first favorite battle rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of going through the tapes. And then, I've been a fan. So I've been a fan since I was about 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm about 14, 15 years old. And now I'm around 24, 25 now, you know, so I got some time into the game. But JSmoReviews wasn't, you know, something I always thought about making, but you're a teenager. You're not really, you know, it's harder to think about like putting videos out there, being that involved. But as time went on, I just found myself, it's always been one of my big loves in life. And I was like, I'm putting too much time into battle rap to not be doing something with battle rap, you know? And then you go back to around 2022, it might have been the end of 2021, early 2022. I was getting towards the end of college and I was like, you know what, man? Fuck it. And I ended up making the JSmoReviews channel. And, you know, it's turned into something pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Being involved with a culture that I appreciate so much. I don't know about you, but not a lot of people around me were watching URL, King of the Dots, things of that nature. Really any like real battle rap. So to then embrace the community and have them embrace me over time, it's been a blessing, man.
Do you think that through like the way that you said, fuck it, I'm just going to do this, like what was that like preparation even to make that decision? I'm curious about that because I am one of those people that are also on that type of time of like, you know what, if you're going to do it, just do it. So what provoked that decision of like, you know what, I just fucking want to talk battle rap?
Yeah, well, I was always active on Twitter, you know, in my younger years, probably a little bit more on the trolling, just whatever side, like any sports fan. But then I started to appreciate, I'd say when I was around like 19, 20, I really started appreciating battle rap. And it's different. Like you watch it and you're a fan, and I also love basketball, and I found myself just getting older, you appreciate the details a little more than just, oh, this is my favorite, these are the battlers I don't like, and getting into the agendas and basic, casual level stuff. I started appreciating the art a little bit more, watching people's tape, learning to appreciate styles besides the styles I like. And then I got to a point where I'm tweeting all the time, obviously Spaces, and shout out Battle Rap Bum, who is a huge person in terms of pushing me in the direction of even talking more in the timeline. There was a point in time I was just going back and forth with him and a few select people just in Twitter messages, seeing what they said and going back and forth. And then I just decided, you start making excuses at first, like, oh, I don't even know how to do camera. I'm still not good really with tech at all. I don't know how to do the camera. I don't know how to upload. Will people watch it? And I feel like anyone feels that with their art or whatever they want to get into. And I just love battle rap too much to not talk about it. That's just really how I felt going into it. And then I just started making the videos. And for real, I still have places I'd like to take the channel. But at first, and I feel like with anything, you're not really getting tons of views like that or anything. You're lucky, the one comment will make your day when you're getting maybe 10, 15 views a video. But I just like talking battle rap for me. And I feel like anything in life that you embrace and want to make something out of, you got to want to do it for you before you do it for any reason. You can't pop up and be like, oh, I want to talk. I just want to talk. So that's kind of everything that goes into that.
Man, dog, yo.
Bang.
That shit is, I appreciate folks that are on that same wavelength. So that's why I asked that question, because there's so much that goes into the after stuff, like you make a decision and you're like, oh shit, I should have probably thought about this camera or this camera. And, that shit'll come, I say that because I can give a real example around the warm-up 3 with Disaster and Marv 1. So when that battle happened, I was in this same fucking studio when I got the call from Disaster. So initially Thesaurus hit me up and he's like, hey man, I got somebody who's trying to hit you up and and Disaster and I we've had conversations hella times. Lightweight the homie, and I was like, who the fuck is he talking about? He's like, oh no, it's Diz, later on in the day. So he had me on fucking pins and needles the whole day. Also, shout out to fucking Thesaurus really quick.
Bang.
And when I started talking to this is right around when Stay Forever had just, occurred or what have you. And so there's so much emotion going on still in the culture. Anyway, we got the battle worked out, and outside of freaking out, I was like, Jesus Christ, we're gonna have fucking Disaster on Marv 1. Disaster's never been to Salt Lake, and also this is just a crazy fucking battle. I know that they battled at the house party shit, but this is different, I was hit up immediately about doing a pay-per-view. This is our third event back. So I was like, we haven't even, I hadn't even tapped into pay-per-view at that time. And so my partner, Jose, with Beans and Rice, we fucking set that live stream up on a fucking phone, bro. My iPhone XR. And we just made it happen. And it went off well. No, you wouldn't, you wouldn't know. None would know the wiser or what have you. So again, I appreciate you saying that because I resonate highly. Because it's dog, we just got to make this happen. Shout out to Lex and Paul though at iBattle, because they had hit me up about immediately. They were like, hey man, we can help you out to get this pay-per-view going, and that at that time that kind of gave me the the realization of oh shit, the culture's re-embracing what we're doing, and that was a motivational piece for me even, so for you to share that is really dope. So I appreciate that.
Shit like that.
With oh shit, sorry. There we go. Okay, so next question I got for you.
Okay.
He's like, go for it. You're now part of Let's Talk Battle Rap, which is considered top tier media in battle rap. How did that opportunity come about, and what's been the biggest takeaway from working with them?
So I had been doing the JSmoReviews for about I want to say like 3 to 6 months at that point, but I was already super talked in, and I say this anytime that I can. France, who for those that don't know, obviously is the one of the founders, and for many people, the face of Let's Talk Battle Rap. And he was always inspiration for me in media, man. When it comes to Black and France, like I was like, if I'm going to be a part of battle rap media, I want to do it in the lane that they do it in, with the respect, with the reverence, with the detail, and kind of more as a sports analyst than just like someone that just kind of says anything to say anything, which is what a lot of media has turned into in battle rap. But after hopping the radio roulettes back then, Caffeine was still up, and they Let's Talk Battle Rap had their contract where they had their multiple different shows. My guy Titus had his show as well that I'll pop in on Toxic Tuesdays and Thursdays. Shout out CC. She had hers on Wednesdays. And I was just very involved with everything Let's Talk Battle Rap because I felt like that was the purest place that you could find dialogue for the sport. And after just frequenting around 3 to 4 months, and then having JSmoReviews at the same time, France reached out and he's like, hey man, we'd love to have you write a couple pieces. He actually offered me at first for, I believe it was Traffic 4, Rum Nitty versus Bill Collector. I was living in Arizona at the time, so it was pretty close to me. And he offered, yo, if you could write, you were saying for some compensation. And then once that kind of went well, from the updates in the building to the article, he's like, we'd like to have you on the team. And now, I've been apart for about 2 to 3 years, 2 to 3 years with the team now. I couldn't imagine myself anywhere else. And the biggest lesson that I learned is it's a thankless sport, man. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying about JSmoReviews in the beginning. If you're going to do media here, you got to do it because you really love it. There's a lot of projects that we do that are even larger scale projects that might end up being big conversations in the culture. I just see the comment right there, man.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it's thankless, and you just got to really love it. I'm blessed that I'm surrounded by people that like love it. You know what I'm saying? Like France loves the game, Q loves the game, Titus. These are my guys I go back and forth with. So when it comes to battle rap media, even if it's top tier media, which I'm glad that we're considered, even at that level, you can't just be doing it because like it's top, like to be a part of something that's like higher level or considered like held up in this culture. You still got to love battle rap all through it because there's a lot of nonsense. The bigger media, the more battlers complain, the more you have people that just don't like you because you're bigger media. You know what I'm saying? Like bigger opportunities come with just natural disdain from some corners that can't get it done. So you just get a lot of that. So, but it's the love for the game has to come first before anything. And no one can take my love for battle rap away. So.
Bro, you are on fucking fire right now. I mean, there's a lot that comes from what you just like said, because I think the overarching theme that I heard throughout all that is like recognition of passion and working with people that have the same, so there's not conflicting thoughts that are going about it. So, when you again, a lot of us have 9 to 5s, but like if you're in a place where even in the same department that like somebody doesn't have the same motivation as you, or even like the same I guess, it can be a bit deterring. And so it sounds like you found a team that has that same passion to report and be a part of the culture as it is.
Yeah. Because for me, there was a couple goals that I have and I still have that maybe we'll get into the details too of battle rap. But like I was always just like, I was a teenager in an area with people that didn't watch battle rap and I loved it. So I'm never going to lose that because that's where that started. So even to have, it was kind of almost surreal in the beginning when I'm talking with Jay Black in France, you know what I'm saying? And going back and forth on some of the topics. But you just like, for me, it was always about finding people like to talk battle rap with. So that was the base level. Like I was going to be happy with that. So everything from there is just extra. And I'm blessed to the point that at times it can also bring back to me in a variety of different ways. And that's, I just, all of that happens, and hopefully that I can still build off of. That always builds off the fact I just wanted to, no pun intended, talk battle rap. So as long as you're with the core there, and as long as like, and I can't overstate it enough, like you got to really love it to do it, because this is not always the most the place that brings the most back to you, in a variety of different ways. So.
Man, so much there. And obviously, like, I don't expect any different, but, what you guys are putting together there is just something special. So I wanted to lean into that. Hey, check out, yo, the no pass look. Give it up for the super chat.
I don't know, Pat, big supporter. Appreciate him being here. You know,
awesome. You know, I put a goal in the chat, y'all, for just super chats. It looks like that's number 1 of 10. For the other 9 folks that submit or present a super chat during this stream, we will be giving away a Body Bags hat from Mike Masters, and we will be going off of that. So there is a goal there. I fucking didn't type it in correctly, but that's the goal. So anyway, so the no pass look asked, what is a battle rap hill you would die on? Hottest hot take.
Oh man. So I don't know how hot of it, because we talk so many battles get talked, and especially part of media, I end up having to, like, even if there's battles I feel strongly on, I'll say how I feel, but I'll recognize that they're debatable. But if there's one battle that, if you ask me, like, what's something that I'll die on, it might not even be the hottest take. Tay Roc, clear as day in the first and second, beat Hollow the Don on SM6. I know it goes down as a classic. It's a super multi-billion battle, and it's a bunch of people that have Roc. I'm not the only one, but that's one battle that I'll pretty much argue
shit like that
till I'm blue in the face. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see that there's a world that Hollow the Don could have, as good as he was, won the first or the second round of that battle. So if there's one that you ever want to, like, people want to frustrate me, if anyone watches this and they see me in person, they want to get me, like, out of character with debating, I'll debate Roc and Hollow until I'm 6 feet deep. So
shit like that. Okay, cool. Shit. Thank you for the chat, or excuse me, the super chat there. The no pass look, man. I appreciate you being on here on this stream right now, and hopefully you know, we have a ton of content as far as our lives are concerned. Maybe this might spark you to go through some of the other stuff that we have. Okay, so next question we got here. This year's panel discussion influenced some last minute vote changes, like in 2017 when several switched to red. How do you think the back and forth shaped this year's outcome?
Oh man, I mean, it was you got a few people that I know that Geechee even said, like, after the way that we had talked and kind of the way I presented my case, he was pretty 50-50, and that ended up having him lean towards his vote for Av. And then, of course, with me, I think my voting change is gonna, go down as the prominent one, because I started very, like, clearly in one direction, and by the end, and in a statement that I made, which I make mistakes. I make tons of mistakes. I feel like we all make tons of mistakes, and I feel like it's okay. We don't, in battle rap, enough people don't say, man, I might have messed that one up. And what I said originally is that even though Roc would have won by criteria, I had Av because of the completion and the winning of his year. And I am anyone that watches my platform knows I talk wins and losses maybe more than anyone in the culture. Even if you disagree with me, that's okay. We're still talking about who won and lost the battle, because it's the sport of it. I love sports. I'm an NBA fanatic. I'm a battle rap fanatic. Winning and losing means everything to me. And that's a big reason I picked Av. But when we talked it over, and I said it there and I'll say it now, how am I going to use, and it was a very criteria heavy panel, how are we going to use criteria as much as we did 20 to 3? And then I'm just going to decide to hijack it and then select whatever the hell I want to select. That's not the point. Maybe in a different role where we're not going by those rules, you see me stand very firmly on that Av pick. But at the end of the day, it's a 6-piece criteria. And when it comes to the impact, the moments, the performance, and I believe the strength of schedule is the 4 that we ended up giving Roc, I feel like it's very hard to debate that Roc was actually beating any of those categories. So while Av had a more complete year, I find no shame. A little late, maybe I could have started out with that. Some people say some people, and shout out Frozenberg. I got a lot of respect for him and all the work that he's doing in media now. And I believe something that he said that really stuck with me, and I thought was some great criticism, is that Av doesn't deserve to be led by that if the rules were set ahead of time. So for me to start there, but then flip, maybe get someone's hopes up, I think that was a really valid critique. But at the end of the day, us talking on the panel at the end, which we hadn't done in a couple of years past, that's what people want to hear about, right? 1 and 2. How are we going to talk for hours about 3 to 20? And then 1 and 2, we just give our votes, and then that's that. People want to hear the same debates they've been having the whole time about the winner. They want to see that from us when we get up there. So it definitely shaped it because votes switched around. But if we're going to have that detail for the rest of the list, we need double the details. So I think it was 100% necessary. And for the final panel, I hope we see something similar again. Because if people, that's what they rock Ave. That's all you heard all year. So it should be rock Ave when we get to that part of the conversation. So definitely shape the winner, but also necessary.
Very necessary. You know, with the wins and losses piece, I think about Sharon, and man, he had a beautiful year, bro. Like, you know, one of his best years ever. And
actually, I still got the list right next to me. It's still on my desk. So.
What did you have him at again?
5. He ended up landing. He was on 5 on my personal list, and then he ended up actually landing perfectly at 5 once we did the final, and it was very deserving too. Very deserving.
You know, I had him at 3. I just think that his impact to honestly like mow through competition and leave no question, and also display professionalism, you know, through his through his business practices. Like I say that like because like personally, like we were talking, but like I saw him at Massacre. I mean, we were out there at Massacre and Massacre 6, what I'm referring to, and just I don't know. I just thought about how well he did. Now, I was tuned in, tapped into the live stream, and EK essentially gave an impassioned "What are we even talking about?" speech. You know, during the COTY debate. Did that move you? Because you know, he just displayed a lot of points. Having said that, there was a point by Jay Black after EK left his seat. He's like, well, the Super Bowl happened in 2025, so that doesn't matter.
No, I'll tell you the exact moment, the exact point that was made that changed. And I thought that everyone that gave final arguments, including EK, because he said many things before that, but since that's the one thing that's a little out there, people are going to attach it. He said a lot of valid stuff before that, but it was actually when Chilla Jones was talking. And I think this is the greatness of having like battlers on the panel. And I think that's why people wanted to have battlers on the panel speaking on. And I thought at times he was a little bit undermining Av's impact to some of these cards. But he said the thing is, when Av is on cards, while he plays a huge piece, there's maybe other pieces that could fill in a sense. You know, people are building cards around Tay Roc. Tay Roc is the attraction to pretty much whether he's actually the headliner or not. 9 out of 10 times he's the headliner. You know what I mean? So he's actually like, it's one thing to be one of the biggest adding pieces to the card, and it's one thing to get the first call, and we're actually going to build everything else around you. Everyone's going to eat off of the impact you bring to the card. And just the wars that he was in, you know what I mean? I thought Chilla did a great job of explaining that. You know, and this was maybe a little extreme towards Av, but when he said, is mass without Tay Roc? Could power moves be power moves without Av? And just making that statement, like, it's different being the headliner. It's different when a card may have been weak all night, and it's like, Tay Roc, you're going to go last with a crowd that's restless, and you're going to be the reason that revives it. Or we've had a great event, and it's on you to land the plane perfectly, or they're going to say main events don't hit. And there's just something really important about being the lead man for a culture, you know? And I feel like COTY actually, a lot of people will say, and, you know, Roc wins it. Now it's like, oh, it's star power in a popularity contest. Well, you know, Big K won over Twerk. I'd be hard pressed to tell me Twerk's not more popular than Big K. Chilla Jones won over K-Shine. You'd be very hard pressed to tell me that K-Shine is not more impactful. O-Red won over Tay Roc himself. Rum Diddy won over Tay Roc himself. I actually think that many times we haven't went with just the biggest star. And maybe that's something I've undermined it, actually, and I'm kind of trying to check myself for. And then, you know, hearing battlers tell you that it's just a different level when the culture is kind of based around what you're doing rather than you just being one of the best performers in it. No disrespect to either side, but it was a point that made a lot of impression on me. And shout out Chilla Jones for it. So it wasn't EK's speech as much. It was actually some of the elements of what Chilla said and Geechee with.
Well, I mean, I appreciate the fact that there was that transparency and that Jay Black, again, no pun intended here, champions that to be able to show real time what is really going on and not, you know, going behind closed doors. I think that where I was taken aback in a great way was honest debate and discussion. And when you had switched your vote from Av to Tay Roc, it was obviously one of the most talked about moments from, you know, that session. in that panel. I guess I'm trying to like outside of what you obviously said on the live stream, like I don't know, walk us through what changed your mind. I mean, you've kind of explained a little bit of it, but like during that discussion, you're like, you know what, shit, man. I mean, if these are the credentials, then I guess
Yeah, well, the thing is too is I'm like having Av at first. He's 10-0. And I'm not gonna lie, I did not love, and I've said this the entire year, so it's not like it's anything that just came up. I'm not gonna say I fully don't respect half of his schedule because he still rapped really good. So even if you're absolutely supposed to steamroll an opponent, it is hard to just go and do that still. You know what I mean? And do it to a level that everybody's entertained. So when you get to the Don Marino battles, the J2 one rounder, Big T. I know they say in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? But, Av is supposed to kind of like wipe the floor with these guys. You know what I mean? But he was still doing it in great fashion. And then when he got to the top tier guys, it didn't really change. Chef Trez gave him a fight, but I still had him winning. Dominated award, dominated Hollow to Don. I know 40 was it was donation season, but on Queen of the Ring, he got to judge win versus her. So he did great things. And plus, I had him in material and consistency. Well, what more do you want from a battle rapper than to rap the best shit and consistently rap the best shit? That's very important. That's why I'm not mad at the people that still have very passionately had Av, but I'm talking, 6 categories. And like I said, going into it, I knew performance was kind of the shaky one because there is like an outside argument of Av being a better performer, but is that, you know what I mean? Like, and if I had to break it down specifically in 2024, Roc is an explosive battle rapper. Av is as well, but it's a different, the energy that Roc brings, me talking about him waking crowds up many times, being performance of the night, haymaker of the night, that main, stage shaker. I found myself like, I'm not at Roc has performance. He had the better strength of schedule. He's undoubtedly more impactful. And outside of maybe New Jersey Twerk, there's really no one making moments the level that Tay Roc does. The ad-libs from card to card. If we wanted to go down the quotables from battle to battle, like he is always producing that, So when you go by the 6-point criteria, if he wins 4, the guy wins 4. So I realized people are going to be mad at me because there's a lot of people that want to stand on winning and this, but there's also a lot of people that say that and don't know the resumes, don't understand the difference. I have Roc beating Bill Collector, A-Ward, Big K. Some of these by an edge. You know what I'm saying? Some of these definitely by an edge. Judge winning the same weekend with A-Ward and Loso. He probably had more meaningful wins. When we did the body of the year votes, him and Reed was ranked higher than Big T. That was ridiculous. And Reed to this day is still upset with his city over that battle. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's one of the biggest bodies. Him and Bill Collector, they made the Battle of the Year voting list. Av didn't have one there. So I'm like, damn, you look at who had the better battles of the year, it's looking like Roc. Who had actually, when they did body someone, who had the biggest body out of that. And then obviously battling better competition. So I just kind of checked myself and I'm like, you know what? It's the right thing to do. Even if I didn't necessarily like it or my beliefs are in another place, I'm looking at this criteria and I got to be fair before anything. And if that involves switching a vote and people being mad at me for it, I don't really care. I'm not there to make a list that the JSmo list. I'm there to make a list that kind of serves the culture and try to get it as close to correct as I think I can. So maybe that's not always my pick. And, I feel okay with that at night.
Well, so and thank you for that breakdown. It sounds like you do value consistency and wins totals, though. It does sound like that, and I can absolutely respect that because I'm one of the same. But Tay Roc's obvious, impact upon the culture and along it, and damn man, he was a very big, he had a megaphone about he was winning COTY this year, and he's behind that.
Yeah, with me last year too, when we had him at 7, and he was very rightfully put at 7 in 2023. I always find that funny because like I never once before or after thought like Roc shouldn't have been 7 that year. But I think naturally there always has to be a COTY debate. I compare it to the NBA MVP. Like you've never seen an MVP get announced and everyone's like, yeah, like someone is going to be upset because that's just naturally what awards bring out of people. Right. But listen, he spoke his piece and he said, I'm going after it. I love that competitive edge because you got some people that they don't win and then it's all rigged and they quit or they're like, oh, what's the point if I don't get my, and it's just tied. It's a lot of crying. And this is the nature of the culture. There's a lot of people performing their art, but just a lot of people that like they don't win. They're not number one. They give up. You know what I mean? And for him to already be beyond established, he didn't need a COTY to be who the hell Tay Roc is. But in year 15 at this level, year 20 in general, to be like, you know what? I'm actually going to triple, quadruple down and go for COTY. I give him so much respect, man. He embodies battle rap, you know, and I think that him going about it, the point you made about him running for it after years of already being top dog, that's a killer instinct. You can't teach. You just got to want it.
You just got to want it, man. You got to want it. Okay. Well, you know, and also y'all, you know, for folks tuning in, if this is your first time hearing of JSmo, then I posted his channel in the comments, but he has a whole video discussing the virality of his decision and just the discussion in general. So we're just getting tidbits here, but he has a whole video that discusses that. So let's move on here. I do want to get your perspective on platforms. So we're a growing platform, but there's always talk about what makes a league small. Let me just post this here. Mid-tier or top tier. What do you think separates these levels and what makes a league stand out?
All right. So top tier level, you know, and it's murkier now more than ever. If you asked this question 3 years ago, it was very clear the hierarchy. You know what I mean? But we're in a time where, with especially this influx of battle arena leagues, it almost feels like places in the hierarchy are changing a bit, right? It's up for grabs for people to get that impact, with so many people trying to find new areas to get battle rap from. When it comes to top tier leagues, if you have the ability to consistently book culture shifting matchups, that has got to be one of the biggest key things that comes with being a top tier league. And you've seen this fluctuate. Just because you've been top tier doesn't mean you stay that way. I think my greatest example is UW. You know, there was a point in time where when Arsenal first came out with UW, he landed Clips versus himself. He landed Hollow versus Lux, and he landed Hitman over versus Suge over a period of time. We've seen leagues come and go and only land one big mega match. Throwing one fantastic or huge event doesn't just make you anything. But when you see a period of time across where it's like, damn, they're booking at this level, that's kind of the level you're at. I think that applies to the big leagues, but it also applies to smaller leagues as well. Like if you're a league that, I think Black Ice is a great example. I always get Black Ice when I can. Amazing work for the culture. While they're not considered a top league, you don't really consider them the smallest league because they book always somewhere in the middle. They have the opportunity to land some pretty big top tier matchups. They've booked the Clipses versus Chilla Jones, Clean versus Arsenal is obviously classic footage over there. Hollow versus Ford recently. So they can book at that level, but they always include a couple top tiers. They always still include their base level talent. And if you're a developmental league, or if you're small and your big thing is I just want to produce talent, typically they just book developmental talent. You know what I'm saying? I look at a league like OSBL, granted they booked a couple top tiers, but they pride themselves on development. All they do is book newer talent and newer talent. So if you ever want to look, I feel like as a league, what are we shooting for? You look over maybe because you got to matter, you got to be around for at least 2-3 years, you know, to at least say that you're established. And if you look across all those cards, are you booking at a level? Are you booking just some developmental talent and then you blew the bank on one big card, but then you went right back to developmental talent? Yeah, you threw a top tier level card. It doesn't make you a top tier league. You threw one really big card. You know what I mean? So it's got to be sustaining the level you want to be at. You know, it's very easy to see when a mid-tier league is, and that's not bad. To be a mid-tier league is still middle level. Like you're still doing things, but are you consistently, for the most part, booking middle level talent? So yeah, that's probably the best way I could put it. It's really on the league itself to look back over maybe a 2 or 3 year period. Does that read like 3 years of ascending? Does it read like 3 years of development? Or does it read like 3 years of just kind of up and down? We book when we can.
Right. Do you think that there is room for debate around, well, actually, let me rephrase this. Because you broke that down great. I think that what happens from my perspective, at least, like leagues will maybe overshoot on an event or something. And then
often,
very
often,
and get like a different impression about what, you know, their city appreciates. Because when we started this whole conversation, you mentioned that, you know, not everyone's watching, you know, battles or what have you. It's still very niche market. And um, with, in regard to like tiers or what have you, um, I don't like get caught up in that conversation as much. I just, and I mean, my partner Hoodie Jer, we just want to put on dope shit, you know, and however that comes about, that comes about. And we've been able to do what we can and support the culture, because I'm a fan first and battler second, and then league owner, you know. And like the feeling that I have around what we're doing at Mike Masters is like how like Lex and Paul and Jer and I were able to put Turbulence together, and then also like Mountain West Showdown 7 last year. You mentioned 48 in the Lake. You know, these experiences and moments are what really feed into how we move to the next event. And I think how we are, like, the planning structure is always towards growth. You know, it's always towards doing something more, not just for battle rap as a whole community, but like getting a lot more people outside in our own city and state for that matter. So when I talk about iBattle, I look at that honestly, man. They're I feel like iBattle is like right there next to like. I mean, I feel like they're top tier, and I don't know if you want to like put them like at the lowest rung of top tier or something. I don't know, but I do feel like they're top tier. Do you have like any sort of like real tapped in type of way to differentiate these leagues?
No, I mean, like, you know, it's all gonna be a matter of opinion, right? Because, like, if you're, you know, like anyone that goes to their local league all the time is gonna tell you it's the best league ever. You know what I mean? Like the people that do ride for their like what they love. iBattle is like so interesting because they kind of have their whole own ecosystem going on between the fact they have their own app, which self-regulates themselves. I know Lex is a brilliant, you know, business minded in the way that he's really carved out a niche within a niche where, you know, you could go, the iBattle lore is its whole own thing. You know, like they're more organized and structured than almost pretty much any other league. I mean, they stream like an event a month, damn near 2 events a month. You know what I'm saying? Some months, like to their own app. So you pay for, and I would love one day if the URL app could stream once a, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's for how big it is. I look at iBattle and I'm like, there's some organizational things here. And granted, they are kind of playing at a smaller level talent wise. You know, they're big on development. I think if there was a debate to have them outside of top tier, it's kind of simply that. You know, do they throw culture shifting matchups on a consistent basis? I wouldn't necessarily say that, but they throw a lot of great matchups. They have one of the best young talent rosters in the world. You know what I'm saying? In terms of their own home talent. So they, what they've done is so funny because they're almost ran. They have top tier habits, but they base themselves so heavily on development. And obviously they kind of have their own, the whole way that I could talk about it forever because the way that they have their own app, run it, and pretty much it's not needed to touch into all these markets. Their own market feeds itself. I wish we could do that at a higher level because that's amazing business. That's an amazing way of really drawing in your diehards and getting the dollars for the people that will pay them. Because reach and exposure, you know, is such a big conversation, but exposure to people that won't pay you anything eventually runs out, you know. And I feel like that's what battle rap, you know, when people ask like, why do people go off of YouTube or get apps? It's because it's great when 1 million people view it, but taking 5% of them, that 10% of that, and having them pay you is actually what keeps the lights on, you know? So there's so many details when you get into the business part of it, that there's some leagues that aren't considered top tier, but you know, their business practice is top tier, you know? But I just look at it in terms of the casual, regular, organized way, because I still have to make a mental order of this. You over context everything, then anyone has an argument. I still stick by kind of that first thing where what are you consistently throwing battles at the level at? But like, you know, iBattle is a great example of they don't have to be considered a URL, RB, King of the Dot, air hierarchy or legacy league to still be putting dollars in pockets, you know, and running a good operation.
great points there. I'd be remiss. Obviously, you're on our platform, so just an opinion on what we're doing outside of what you said at the beginning. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess I'm asking that just forthright.
Yeah, well, I think, and like I said in the beginning, got a lot of respect, especially over. I felt like the last two years or so, maybe 3 years if I go back, but I'd say the last 2 years, whenever the last, maybe every other, I know you said you had the circuit coming up. I hadn't quite seen a flyer for that, but I've caught, or most, if not part of, pretty much every card for the most part that you guys have thrown. I thought Turbulence was a great project. I think you and I Battle typically might tap into the same demographics, and you're able to create something really dope there. Thesaurus versus Doms, me talking about A-Hat earlier is kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With you guys throwing that. But tapping into, you still have the people that watched A-Hat a ton back in the day. You're able to tap a little nostalgia there while still having the Danny Myers versus 40 Bars, Holmesy versus Madflex. And these are matchups that matter. Like, I have to watch it. I know a bunch of top media that I talk to end up like watching, like respected media end up catching these battles. And then I cannot praise you guys enough for what you did with and I always get the title on 48 Lakes.
Yeah, 48 in the Lake. Yep.
Incredible card. You know what I'm saying? You guys got like real Marv 1 versus Av. They've been talking about making that happen for a minute. There's big leagues that would have snatched that battle if you guys were able to go get that. Nitty and Quest, which I would have never expected to be as good as it was in the middle of the night. Thesaurus was on there. I can't remember the opponent at this very moment. Thesaurus versus B. I think they might have headlined Thesaurus versus B. Yeah, and then oh my God, Real Deal versus Holmesy, like that's all very notable talent, man. You guys threw something special there, and I feel like that really helped elevate. So when Turbulence came, they're like, wait, these guys threw, you know what I'm saying, the 48 in the Lake. Yeah. Now I have more respect to tune into everything they're doing because they're booking at this level. At the very least, they're giving you a goodie like Madflex and Holmesy. So I think you guys are climbing. I think that you're a healthy league at the moment. Like, the trajectory is upwards, and that's because of the work that you guys have put in for the last year.
Man, thank you for that. Because it sounds like you're in our team meetings. Honestly, the thing that we speak about the most is consistency, and also right now it's like we're tapping into the business side of things a lot more. And in year 3, this is year 3, re-emergence. Like, we have put together a lot of energy and work and effort towards a new, this is for our league, so potentially groundbreaking, at least, to really show analytics and numbers around payouts and stuff like that. Like, we have to be a lot more realistic on our end, and I think that we're doing a good job of that. Like, there's a lot of work going into, like, we're going to be sending out proposals before contracts. Like, I'm in high dollar sales, and I'm like on the senior end of that. And I just started thinking about, like, man, like, it kind of feels like the wild west a little bit still, and folks throw out numbers, and it's like, damn, man, like, as much as I want to obviously have you here, realistically, this is what we can offer, and I think what we're going to be, what the question that we're addressing, and it's one that kind of makes my, the hair stand up on the back of my neck when I'm asked it, is, what's your budget? And it's like, here's my proposal, and just to cut through that.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's funny because, like, battle rappers, like, shouldn't, like, I'm not mad at battle rappers for not putting care. They just want to get the biggest bag that they can. That's really what everybody wants, but specifically the talent, right? You know what I mean? And when you talk leagues, some of the biggest names, some of the top tier legends are not bringing back the money that they ask for. You know what I mean? So you need to have that, like, attention to detail with it. And that's no disrespect to them. That's just, I think that there's a misconception from what people think battle rap business is, because, like, a little bit will leak out because of drama or this and that, and everybody thinks they know what's going on. It's completely different. You know what I'm saying? Much more. And Wild West, I thought, was the greatest way of putting it. There's a severe lack of, like, real business structure and the way things are supposed to go. Timely, just like barbaric ways of going about it because you just want to get this cool number that you want. And then if it's leagues a lot of times will overthrow a bag because they're like, wait, this will really bring that next level of attention to the card. And then they're in for a rude awakening. You know what I'm saying? Because they thought that just bringing these names on is what makes it a safe bet or at least breaking even. And it's so far from the case. And I almost don't want to say too much, you know what I'm saying? But I just thought the Wild West analogy you made was like perfection. You know what I mean? Because that's how I feel when I hear stories around here as well.
Well, and the big point that that I'm addressing with what we're going to be doing, and it's all in the era of transparency, is showing metrics. So it's not anything that a normal business would do. I think that there's a confusion around what folks can bring to, like, a battler might bring to a town or what have you, and we have to take our market into the equation as well. Having said all that, I'm getting to, like, if I was like, let's say I just like call a venue in Tampa, Florida, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to be touring through. I'm booking my tour, right? And so I'm going to be coming through, and I would love to perform at your venue. And one of the first questions they're going to ask me, outside of like an EP or an RPK, EPK, is well, what's it going to cost? And if I told them even $1,000, their second question should be, do you have a fan base out here? And if I tell them no, their follow-up answer should be, well, we're not going to pay you that. So like there's just needs, that marriage needs to happen at some point, and I think that when Smack was saying it, I don't know if it was articulated as such, but I'm saying all this to say that, like, we value the organization of the league, and we value the continuation of the league, and I'm just appreciative that you have noticed any of that. So thank you.
Yeah, no, I it would be a whole other thing, but in terms of like the business of battle rap and then some of the ethics behind the scenes and some stuff like that, I just don't think people realize how little they know. And this is a culture that now in the last year or two, they'll look at the drama of hearsay on business, or like a comment Smack makes or a battler being like, I deserve this, or kind of incorrectly stating whatever their contract demands are to get public perception on their side. You get all this where now people feel like they've heard so much through YouTube blogs and like interviews that they're like, wait, I have an idea of it. They don't. You know what I mean? Like, right. It couldn't be the farther from that. So it's a whole other thing, but it's very interesting and near and dear to my heart, because I want to live in a world one day where, even if it's at a regular amount, like, that people could really live off battle rap to a larger extent. I'd love to see mid tiers that maybe aren't straight top tier battle rap. I'd love to see all top tiers live off of it, right? I love to see mid tiers that are really putting in the work, battling 6 or 8 times a year. I'd love if they lived off that. If the leagues could live off that, if a little bit of like the top tier media. I want it to be an ecosystem where everybody eats, but there's just a lot of nonsense behind the scenes. You know what I mean? There's a lot of not understanding it from either side. So it leads us to where we are now.
Oh, no, man, I totally get it. I feel like with what we're constructing, which I've run by several folks in the culture that are respected. It's like kind of a, I don't know, self-awareness, kind of like a reality check. And
self-awareness. Great words. Great. I can't agree anymore.
We're providing also in lieu of what I'm even referring to. Like, there's so many benefits to pushing your content that ends up going out. So there's several bonuses that we're offering, and on our website that we sell tickets on, we have drop down menus you pick your favorite battler, and then they get a percentage of that. So there's so much that really goes into, like, shit, man, these guys are going to pay me. Also,
I saw you guys doing that. Actually, I believe you did that for 48, where you could actually select why is the main reason that you're the battler, the main reason you're buying the pay-per-view. And in a sense, they would get some level of, compensation off of that. Yeah. Real simple stuff, man. And then it'll really, stuff like that is a very fair way of showing people who are important, you know, why they're important, and maybe showing some people that demand craziness. You know what I'm saying? What that like, the numbers are here. You don't got to talk to me. We don't have to have a debate. Here's the analytics behind it.
Well, and then there's also the fact of like, I think that it gets often overlooked because of the bloated numbers that are being paid out, like the lack of interaction with the community that they're going to. And that it, you know, that's like the point, you know, like you go to a new city or go to a new place and gobble up 10 fans, new ones, you know, like that's the point, you know? And I guess by osmosis, I am should I say forcing? I don't know. Look, folks will see as it starts rolling out, but I created something different, and it's definitely going to benefit us. And if it turns into something that we obviously turn into a bigger model, then that'll go that way. But again, it just goes back to the business side of things, because we had an event, like spring training 2 was supposed to be in March, and truth be told, man, I had like a glitch in my brain when I invited a battler to come here, and they set a price or what have you, and and I was just like, man, that's crazy. You don't know anyone out here. There's no way that I can even remotely recoup on that. That's crazy. You know, like that's wild. So I was just like, no, I'm just gonna take the guesswork out of it and make sure that everyone understands what's going on. So yeah,
absolutely.
All right. So what's next for you in battle rap? More media moves, event hosting, something else?
Oh man, I got something cooking up very soon. A different, I'm not gonna say like it's a different way of viewing JSmo. I have a project on the way that might be me talking on more topics besides just battles. You know what I'm saying? It might even be a weekly thing that you see from me. You know what I'm saying? And talking more of an elongated format, possibly live. You know, so I don't want to give it all away until we're ready to roll it out. But definitely have something else in the way. Commentary. Listen, man, I one of my biggest things I ever wanted to do was commentary. I was like, I want to do commentary so bad. And shout out to Chrome 23, Easy the Block Captain, and Remy Ma. You know what I'm saying? It all came together crazy when I was able to have that opportunity to do commentary for them. It was very us working things out, you know what I'm saying, last second, but I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful so many people like the product me and Misfit were able to give out there. So there's a perfect world for me in battle rap, especially one where with this move to Denver, real life, and in so many good ways, I'm beyond blessed. I'm living a beautiful life and I'm in a beautiful family, and we're building something, but it takes away a little bit from my battle rap time where when I do focus on battle rap, I don't have the time maybe I had 2 or 3 years ago, you know what I'm saying, when I was a college kid, just finding my way through it. So outside of the projects that kind of are my stuff, JSmoReviews, LTBR, and obviously Champion of the Year, you're always going to find me there. Up until the end here, I want to do more commentary. You know what I'm saying? I'd love the opportunity to do more. You know, so that was a great experience. I'm a bit of a yapper. This interview probably shows that with all the stats that I have, and that's actually the one time where it's probably super beneficial for me. So between that, I'll be doing COTY again by the time that rolls around, a project that will be announced very soon, and it'll be announced on my channel as well. So anyone that's a diehard JSmo fan, you have something very cool coming your way. And then any opportunities to commentate, man, you know, I feel like that's a way I can help the culture with my skill set, and I love to do it. So,
man, y'all give it up for fucking JSmoReviews, y'all. I appreciate you taking some time with us today. And you are in Denver, dog. So that's only 5 hours from us, bro. I'm just saying.
Even less by a flight, you know what I'm saying? So it's been I'm coming from Arizona before. I can never get anywhere that's like in a battle rap city. You know what I'm saying? Just like the way that life has worked out. I came from the East Coast my whole life. When I was old enough. I remember trying to sneak into Born Legacy Supreme 2 back in the day. It's a funny story, you know. But when I got old enough to actually go to events on my own accord, and they took me over into the desert and now the mountains. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, man, especially with like I've said it a couple times, but I'll say it again. I got a lot of respect for what you guys are building. I think you're doing it the right way as well. And great talk on the business side. Can't wait to see what you guys are doing on that front. I just can't wait to see the cards you put out here in 2025, man. So the respect is likewise. And thank you for having me.
Man, I appreciate that shit a lot, man. One more fucking time. All right. Before we leave, I'm going to this Saturday is a fun time. We are going to be on the Spaces with Any Given Spaces. As you guys can see there. Keep my brand out your fucking mouth. I'll be battling on there against COTY. I Am Thanos versus Josh Matter. Firearm Zeke versus Jay Villain. Stretch versus Spirit and Spades versus Wherefore Art Thou Romeo. And then Mike Bailey versus Neff, which is A-Ward's nephew. On at Any Given Spaces this Saturday at 7 on Twitter. We would love for you guys to tap in. It's all this information is on at Mike Masters 801 on our Instagram, Facebook, and I'll be reposting this again on our Twitter as well. So tap in with us that time if you guys have not already. So we appreciate y'all a bunch. Obviously, one more time, big ups to our Inner Circle members, and that is a fucking wrap. I got Space here with the hand claps. He appreciates you, JSmo. Man, I have a feeling that we're going to talk a little bit more in the future, but I'm glad that we were able to break the ice. And I, in full transparency, just sent you a message. I was like, yo, man, you got some time, man. And we made it happen. So
that's simple, man. My door is always open. I know we live in a culture where it feels like you got to watch your step. You know what I'm saying? You do something nice and what's going to turn around. It's not like that, man. It's always love and respect over here. So I'm glad you did.
My dog, Run It Back episode. Who gives a fuck? At Mike Masters 801 on everything. My name is Gabino Grhymes. This is Run It Back. We're the fuck out of here. Peace.
In my head, it sounded better than that. In my head, it sounded better than that. In my head, it sounded better than that. Let me stretch out on this, bro. I feel real good. Gabino. 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 This that, get up and grind.